Hello and welcome to the channel. Last week, a viral video came to light of an ex-senator Adamu Bulkashuwa in the full glare of all senators when he said he had compromised his wife's profession for friends seeking favor. The wife under the storm, Zainab Bulkashuwa, a retired judge of the Court of Appeal, has now finally responded to the controversial statements. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Bulkashuwa speaks after husband's confession of compromising her decisions as appeal court president. Former president of the Court of Appeal, Zainab Bulkashuwa, has broken her silence on her husband's recent confession of compromising her decisions to the advantage of his senator colleagues while she was in office. Adamu Bulkashuwa, a senator representing Bauchi North, had spoken during the 10th June valedictory session of the outgone 9th Senate, boasting about infringing on his wife's freedom and independence while she served as president of the appellate court. He bragged that he aided his colleagues in the Senate to obtain favor from his wife, who was superintendent over the Court of Appeal that served as the final arbiter on appeals concerning electoral disputes in parliamentary elections in Nigeria. My wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office, and she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues, said Mr. Bulkashuwa, 83, during the Senate's proceedings. Mr. Bulkashuwa, in a bid to downplay the backlash of his damning confession, would later say his comment was taken out of context because the then Senate President Ahmad Lawan did not allow him to complete his thoughts. He said, had he had the opportunity to express himself as he wished, he would have shown there was nothing unethical about the help he obtained from his wife. Mrs. Bulkashuwa, the hardest hit by her husband's comments, which also rubbed off badly on the crisis-ridden integrity of the Nigerian judiciary, denied any wrongdoing. In a 3-paragraph statement dated 17 June but released early Monday, Mrs. Bulkashuwa said she never at any time compromised her oath of office, contrary to her husband's comments, suggesting that she acted unethically on many occasions. The former president of the Court of Appeal, with a judicial career spanning 4 decades, said justices under her leadership could bear her witness that she never interfered with their independence. My attention has been drawn to the trending video of what was said by my husband, Senator Adamu M. Bulkashuwa. I want to state categorically that I never at any time compromised my oath of office to favor any party who appeared before me throughout my judicial career, spanning 40 years of service to my country. My decisions were always based on the facts, the law, and in accordance with my conscience and oath of office. Also, as President of the Court of Appeal, my fellow justices of the court can attest to the fact that I never interfered with the independence of any of the justices of the court in the discharge of their judicial functions, she stated in the statement she personally signed. This is another time Mrs. Bulkashuwa has found herself in a difficult situation of denying allegations of unethical practices relating to her time as the President of the Appeal Court, a position she held between April 2014 to March 2020. In the waning days of her headship of the Appellate Court in February 2020, she shared her 4-decade experience with journalists in Lagos, where she denied an allegation that she took a 6 billion naira bribe. There was a time when allegations were flying around that I was given 6 billion naira and I laughed. So, if I was given 6 billion naira, do you think I would still be here? She wondered. She also talked about how she maintained her independence as a judicial officer and guarded against political influence despite being married to a politician. My husband is a politician, but politics is a no-go area in my house. Even my children are aware of that. No politician is invited to the house. My husband can pursue whatever he wants to pursue as a politician, but we hardly discuss politics in the house. All this helped to guard against any influence from any politician, Mrs. Bulkashuwa had averred during a presser in Lagos in February 2020. But her husband's claim coming later sharply contradicts us, calling the image she painted of herself in 2020 into question. Many have said Mr. Bulkashuwa's claim retrospectively serves as a validation of the suspicion of bias the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) had against Mrs. Bulkashuwa after she appointed herself to head the 5-member panel of the Presidential Election Petition Court in 2019. The PDP, along with its then presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar, was challenging the election of then President Muhammadu Buhari of the Rolling All Progressives Congress (APC). The party alleged that Mrs. Bulkashuwa would not adjudicate on the case impartially due to her tie to her husband, who was at the time a senator-elect on the platform of the APC, and her son, Aliyu Abubakar, who was a governorship aspirant on the platform of the party. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. She will later step down from the panel and replace herself with Mohammed Garba, who shared the panel and eventually saw the proceedings through to the end. Mrs. Bulkashuwa retired from the bench as president of the Court of Appeal after clocking the mandatory retirement age of 70 for judicial officers in 2020. Her husband's comment have further eroded confidence in the crisis-ridden integrity of the Nigerian judiciary. A former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Olisa Agbakoba, while condemning the remark, said it however seemed to have suggested why his client, Usman Tuga, lost to Mr. Bulkashuwa in 3 courts while challenging the outcome of the disputed Bauchi North senatorial election. Mr. Bulkashuwa's comments have drawn condemnations, with Mr. Agbakoba describing it as a monumental disgrace for our institutions. The NBA president, Yakubu Mike Yu, who called it a direct affront to the judiciary's integrity, has called for the arrest and prosecution of Mr. Bulkashuwa for his confession to perverting the course of administration of justice. But the National Judicial Council (NJC), a statutory body concerned with appointing and disciplining judges as well as policy matters of the judiciary, has kept mum on the issue. NJC's silence on the issue, it was learnt, is on the grounds that it has no power over Mrs. Bulkashuwa, a retired judicial officer. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.